Hey guys, it's Sagar and I have been using the iPhone Air for a week now, and there are a few things which I find are pretty interesting. Now before we go ahead, while I have been using this iPhone Air for just about a week, I did actually go to the Apple store just like many of you guys and got it on the launch day. Now these are not review units and I actually purchased all of these phones myself. I had been using the iPhone 17 Pro up until now, and my wife was actually using this Air for the initial few weeks. Now I'm telling you this because since these are my phones, none of these phones are going back to Apple after the usual review period of 2 weeks is done. And I'm going to get to spend as much time as I want with these phones to know everything about them. I can even switch back and forth between them to try and find out which of these phones is best suited for which lifestyle. So there's going to be a lot of content about these phones on the channel in the coming weeks and months. With that out of the way, let us now get to my experience of using this iPhone Air for little over a week. First of all, I love how thin this phone is. During the last week, anyone who I have shown this phone to just fell in love with it. And two of my friends who were actually using their iPhone 11 which they got way back in 2019 even got this for themselves. If you saw one of my previous videos, you must know that I am coming to this phone from the iPhone 17 Pro, and before that I have used the iPhone 16e, 16 Pro and the OnePlus 13 for some time. So after having used big and bulky phones, it is a nice change of pace to be able to use such an amazingly thin device. The frame surrounding this phone is made out of titanium, which is really strong, so this phone should definitely not bend in your pockets. I guess Apple doesn't want to go through the bend gate issue all over again with this phone. And titanium is not very easy to scratch, so it should hold up pretty well against everyday usage. If I'm being honest, the use of titanium feels a bit odd to me. This iPhone Air, which is not their top of the line iPhone, uses titanium, their most premium build material of choice. But the iPhone 17 Pro, which is actually their top of the line iPhone, uses aluminium, which is not as tough and doesn't feel nearly as premium as titanium. So I don't know what is going on here. There's one thing which a lot of people won't even notice, and even if they do, they won't mind it as much. But this thing really bothers me that the USB Type-C port at the bottom is not centered. It is placed ever so slightly towards the back of the phone. I'm sure there is some design limitation which made them do this, but a company which pays so much attention to detail should have found a way to center this. It's not a big issue, but just something which I noticed. They did, however, manage to balance the center of gravity of this phone exactly along the center. So although there is a camera island at the top, it doesn't feel top heavy, the weight is very well balanced. As tough as Apple says this phone is, I'm definitely going to put it inside a case. And that is where MacBag, our sponsor for this video, comes in. They make amazing cases for your smartphones. And this right here is their second generation Elite series case for the iPhone Air. Good all-round protection is a must from any case, but this second generation MacBag Elite case goes above and beyond and packs in a lot of things to make using your phone a lot more comfortable. It comes in black and beige colors, both of which look amazing on this light gold iPhone Air. It gets air pockets in all four corners, so the phone stays protected in case of an impact. There is a raised lip at the front and back for the protection of the display and the camera island. You also get this embedded finger loop at the back, which makes holding your phone a lot easier, and you can just push it back when you don't want to use it. This case also gets a camera control button which keeps the original one protected. It also gets an integrated kickstand in this clever position, which helps you position your phone at various angles. With all of this going on, this case also gets very strong MagSafe magnets, so you can attach all sorts of MagSafe accessories to it. And along with that, it even has other hidden magnets in the back, which lets you attach this case to any metallic surface. Despite of all of this case isn't too heavy and doesn't bulk up your iPhone Air. Make sure to check out this second generation Elite case from the link in the description, and here's a 15% discount code for our viewers. Let us now get to one of the biggest concerns which people had, the single speaker. For those of you who don't know it yet, yes, this iPhone Air just comes with a single speaker. I don't think there is any other phone which came out in the last 5 years and has a single speaker. Now if Apple could somehow fit the whole internal components of this phone, leaving the battery of course, inside this small space, how could they not find enough space somewhere else in the body to put a second speaker? Even a tiny one is beyond me. Here's how this speaker sounds. Hey guys, it's Sagar and I finally got the new iPhone Air. Now I pre-ordered it and I decided to pick it up from the new Apple store in Pune. And now this is how the stereo speaker on the iPhone 17 sounds like. Hey guys, it's Sagar and I finally got the new iPhone Air. Now I pre-ordered it and I decided to pick it up from the new. The one on the iPhone Air is just not as loud, and it also lacks the richness and the depth in the sound. I'm going to be honest, the only time which I found this to be an issue is when I was on a video call with my sister and my parents wanted to join in. Rest of the times I just use my earphones and that is not an issue for me. But I get it. There are a lot of people who like to listen to songs on speaker and consume a lot of content on their phone without their headphones, and having a single speaker just doesn't give you the best experience in these cases. Now addressing the second biggest concern which many people had, that there is just a single camera on the back of this phone. Again, I don't really mind having just one camera on the back, as I have used the iPhone SE, 10R and recently the iPhone 16e for an extended time. I believe one really good camera is enough and can do a better job than two or more mediocre ones. And as you are going to find out in my camera review of this phone, this single camera is a really good one. It's in fact the same 48 megapixel camera from the iPhone 17. Now this information should put any and all of your concerns to rest. Now if this is not enough and you like to take a lot of ultra wide angle shots, then yes, you are going to miss not having a second camera with a wider focal length. But I feel that is a very small percent of people, and this single camera is going to be enough for most of the average users. And now the final, but the biggest concern which most people had was about the battery life, as this incredibly thin phone only gets a 3149 mAh battery, and it has to power this huge 6.5-inch display and all of the components inside. As I said before, I have had this phone for a little over a week, and leaving the first 2 days when the phone has a lot of things to index, download and run in the background, the battery has been holding pretty well and takes me throughout the day. Unlike the iPhone 17 Pro, it doesn't have 35 to 40% of the charge remaining towards the end of the day. After charging the phone to 100% at about 8 to 9 am, I end most of my days with 20 or 23% of the battery still remaining, which is still technically all-day battery. In the next few days, I'll be using this phone outside a lot, so it will mostly be on 5G, and I'll also be using the navigation and cameras a lot. Yes, both the front and rear facing one. That should give me a pretty good idea of the kind of battery life one could expect if they are a heavy user. So I will let you guys know more about the battery in my full review, so be on a lookout for that video to drop. This iPhone Air is a 6.5-inch device, and I think Apple could have solved all or most of the issues if they could have increased the size to 6.9 inches just like the iPhone 17 Pro Max. That way, they would have more space inside to put in a second camera, a second speaker at the bottom, and they would have even squeezed in a slightly bigger battery. I am sure this would have solved almost all of the concerns which most people have about this iPhone Air. But then it could have seriously cannibalized the sales of the regular iPhone 17, and I don't think Apple wanted that. But doing that would have made this iPhone Air a much bigger success. Alright, there is a lot more to know and talk about this iPhone Air. So I am going to be making a bunch of videos, let's say about the cameras, the overall usage experience, the things which I like about it, and the things which I don't. So please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel if you don't want to miss those videos. That is it for this video, guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for a lot more coverage on the iPhone 17 series phones. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.